The modern financial system is meticulously engineered to liquidate your future, long before you even decipher the rules of the game. Across the major capitals of Europe, an elite class of the youth is quietly withdrawing from hyperconsumerism, because they have decoded a brutal economic truth. If you choose to invest the next few minutes to fully comprehend the hidden mechanics of money in this narrative, you will secure the master key to an unshakable financial empire, while your peers remain permanently shackled in invisible poverty. However, should you turn away midway, you are willingly signing the decree of your own lifelong economic subjugation. The vast majority of young adults operate under a dangerous illusion of absolute invincibility, completely oblivious to the fact that their premier asset is being silently harvested. In your early 20s, you are mathematically wealthy because you possess an unburdened monopoly of time. Yet, the masses routinely trade this sovereign capital for short-term, low-value entertainment, letting architectural wealth slip cleanly through their fingers. True strategic leverage requires converting these quiet, unallocated hours into rare, highly specialized skills, long before the marketplace commands them. The second systemic trap is the psychological pathology of social simulation, heavily amplified by modern digital algorithms into a hyperreal fever. We witness peers displaying artificial luxury, but the raw data exposes a completely different reality of systemic structural decay. In the year 2020, baseline credit statistics revealed that the vast majority of modern status symbols are fully leveraged by high-interest debt instruments. Attempting to match the financial velocity of an individual who is actively destroying their own future is a submissive strategy that guarantees your long-term ruin. Beyond the social illusion lies the continuous erosion caused by structured hedonism, specifically the commercialized culture of excessive nightlife. Temporary gratification functions as a steep emotional tax, systematically bleeding the precise capital required to control tangible real-world assets. True economic dominance is constructed on absolute, calculated moderation, recognizing that a single currency unit deployed in your youth carries 5 times the generative power of one deployed in middle age. Choosing instant indulgence over future sovereignty is an objective failure of long-term planning. The mathematical penalty for delaying your entry into the global financial markets is absolute, governed by the cold laws of compound interest. Consider a disciplined strategist who allocates $100 monthly over a 30-year horizon at a benchmark 7% return, accumulating over $116,900. Postponing that identical execution by a single decade cuts the final yield down to a mere $50,000. Waiting until the age of 45 to protect your legacy is a multi-$10,000 fine, paid strictly to your own procrastination. Navigating the economic arena without a highly liquid emergency reserve is the equivalent of walking into a predatory trap with your eyes wide open. Comprehensive data indicates that over 60% of the younger demographic cannot absorb a sudden $1,000 liability without falling into immediate deficit. An unexpected mechanical failure or a sudden health event can instantly force an unprepared individual into a high-interest debt cycle. Establishing a rigid financial buffer is not a luxury, but the absolute baseline requirement for maintaining personal autonomy. Premature domestic independence is another highly inefficient maneuver, driven entirely by the ego's shallow desire for perceived status. Entering a complex real estate market or signing a restrictive lease agreement before your foundational capital is secure completely halts your upward momentum. Utilizing parental stability to artificially suppress your overhead costs is the most optimal economic decision a young person can execute. Every single dollar saved on inflated rent is a dollar that can be immediately deployed into high-yield, wealth-generating assets. The psychological urge to acquire rapidly depreciating automotive liabilities on credit is perhaps the most efficient method to guarantee permanent mediocrity. Dealerships no longer sell transportation. They sell structured financing designed to extract maximum interest over the longest possible timeline. A new vehicle loses half its intrinsic value within the first phase of ownership, leaving the buyer holding a shrinking asset while the debt matrix remains entirely fixed. The rational counter-strategy is to acquire pre-owned assets at the absolute bottom of their depreciation curve. Ultimately, This illusion infiltrates interpersonal dynamics when individuals use financial displays to bargain for romantic validation. Initiating a relationship on a foundation of artificial extravagance naturally attracts partners who value the velocity of your capital rather than your actual substance. True economic alignment requires constructing a unified vision within your authentic means, rather than depleting your core reserves on performative luxury. Ultimate wealth is achieved through total emotional control, meticulous asset allocation, and the unwavering patience to let compounding execute its design.